Hey, Mike with Mike's Bags, and today I am reviewing the Typhoon by Reynolds Bags. I did review the Typhoon a while back. I had a version of the 2021, 2022 stamped bags that I reviewed. Reynolds made a change for the 24 stamped bags to the fill. I didn't think it was a big enough change to warrant another review. However, I've received a ton of questions since this new bag has been rolled out asking about how this new fill impacts the playability of the bag. And this is a very popular bag. I didn't know that, so when I had the opportunity to get my hands on such a review, I went ahead and got them so I could bring you a new review. So I'm going to go ahead and do, for those of you who are not familiar with Typhoon, I'm going to do a full review here, breakdown of this bag, and explain all the playability and all the things to it, about it. For those who've thrown the older version, I will highlight the changes and how I think it impacts this new bag or doesn't impact the playability of the new bag. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's break these Typhoons down. We'll start with the slow side material. This is that Surefire material, but this is the back side. They flipped it over. It's the opposite side of what Lucky uses on the Surefire. It's the same side you find on the Deadhead or the All Slides 2.0. It still plays about a 5-speed. This is the softer side of the material. I actually think I like this side a little better, but it plays about a 5-speed. Both sides play at a 5-speed. I think this side's a hair faster, but I still call it a 5-speed. So 5-speed on the slow side. One of the knocks I will say, though, on this is that it doesn't play well in moisture. When you start getting condensation on boards or moisture from humidity, once this material starts to get damp, the boards get a little damp and sticky, this bag just stops, will not move. But it's great for dry boards and normal to fast speed conditions. It plays wonderful in those conditions. So 5-speed, slow side. Fast side, this is that Game Changer Surefire fast side. It's the same fast side you find on the Pro X and the Victory. It's a 8.5 speed material. It's fast. It's great for pushing, collecting, cleaning up through, or getting through a lot of congestion on the board. Slides the board in any conditions. We're looking at about a 5, 8.5 speed on this bag. Template wise, medium template, medium amount of fill, medium amount of flop. So the bag has some flop to it. It's maybe on the floppier side of medium. You know, it's not by no means a floppy bag, I don't think, but it's borderline getting there. It's a little less floppy than an older bag, and that's because of the fill. So the big change here in the bag is the fill. I think it's really the only thing they changed is the fill. The template size, the materials are all the same. The big change, the only change is the fill. This new fill, and I think across the board Reynolds bags that all their bags now have, it's a mixed fill. It's bead fill and it's that flat fill, not the disc, but the thicker flat fill is in here. I don't know if it's a 50-50 ratio. I'm not sure what it is, but the older bag, in fact, I brought mine. These are the ones I reviewed. Still have these. I haven't gotten rid of them yet. I don't throw them anymore. They sit in a bin in my other room, but I still have them. I used to love these bags. For the longest time, I threw these nonstop. But this bag has a 3-part fill. It's got the beads, it's got the thick flat fill, but it also has the flat disc fill in here. They took that flat disc out, and by doing that, you actually increase the volume of the bag. So even though it's the same weight, same material, same template size, this new bag is just a slight bit thicker, which means it's not quite as large. And what I mean is these thinner bags want to flatten out. And so it has just a slightly larger probe. I don't even know if I can show you. It's ever so slightly. It's just a hair bit. You know, we're talking maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And it's not because the template's bigger. It's because this bag is thinner because it has that flat disc in here, which doesn't give any volume. You add a little bit higher volume fill, not more fill, but you replace that disc with a little bit thicker fill. It gives the bag a little more thickness. So if you didn't like how thin and floppy that old Typhoon was, you might like the new one. Again, it's not a big change. I'm nitpicking it, but it is a noticeable difference to me in this. And let's go ahead and jump in from here. Let's go ahead and jump into playability on this. What we're talking about. And to me, this is a bag that is designed for, like I said, for dry boards that are normal to fast speeds, and in those conditions, you're going to run the hole, go hole for hole. The big negatives for this Surefire material on both sides have the same issues, and I mentioned one, the humidity, moisture on the board, the bag becomes unplayable. Second one is this material has a kick to it, and the third, the material tends to hang on the hole. It's not as hole friendly as it maybe should be, or some other 5-speed materials might be. Now, adding this fill, this higher volume fill, taken with a flat disc, it gives the bag more movement, more bounce. So the bag is noticeably more active when you throw it than maybe the older one was, which does increase the kick of the bag. So this bag has a little more kick to it than the older one does. That floppier bag, flop tends to be a little more forgiving, takes away from the kick a little bit. When you take away some of that flop and you add some more volume and more active fill, it's going to give a little more kick. So you have a little more kick to it. I will say I think that fill maybe helps a little bit on the hole friendly side. So what you're losing in the kick, the extra kick, I think you're gaining on the hole friendly side of it. However, this bag does have a tendency to hang on the hole. You'll see it here, especially when it's hanging on the back edge or the back corners. Tough to collect without an airmail drag. You got to go aggressive to go after this bag. Now, you can control this. You can throw blockers. You have enough control. You can put bags up for blockers. But the reason I don't like this bag for playing a dirty style game or playing blockers is the collectability. It's not the easiest bag for collecting. I'm not saying you can't collect this bag. You can. But because it has that flop and that looseness, when you go to collect in the corner, the bag just wants to accordion up. So when I have a bag, a blocker, especially if it's across the board or it's on my opponent's side, I throw it too far over out of the way, and I try to come just down the middle, the bag's just according up, and it just, this push bag just spins around and goes in and leaves the blocker bag maybe even bully a little bit out of the way, which makes it tough to collect. So you got to be more intentional and try to come through more with a cut to grab it, or at least catch more of the bag, thirds or halves of the bags to really push it in to take it in. Now, because you have this more active fill, it's easier to throw cuts with this bag. This bag is definitely more cut friendly than the old version was. It's definitely more roll flop friendly. So if you play a roll style game, this is an easier bag to roll. Still not a bag that I would say the below average rollback player is gonna be able to roll very easily. But if you're above average to advanced rollback thrower, you can roll this a lot easier than the older style Typhoon. Again, you got a more active field, you've got better shot shaping than what you had in the older version. But in reality, the playability is still about the same. And to be honest, the reason I don't throw my Typhoons anymore is because, although I love the way they play, whenever I play a situation where I want to throw these, I just find a lot of these new hybrid carpets, the R carpet, the clone carpets, those all play about the same speed as this, but those play better in humid conditions, those play better on slower boards, those don't hang on the hole quite as much, and I have a lot of times more shot shape and ability when I get with this bag. So although it's a great bag and phenomenal bag, and for people who throw it, you're going to like it. If you're new to the game, it's a wonderful bag to start out with. If you've been playing for a while, you can still have success with it. It's a great bag that starts with beginners all the way up to advanced players. It really can fit all skill levels, and you can have success with it. For me personally, it's just there are other bags I would always pick over this, and that's why I think people have to ask me, why don't I rank bags? And this is a great example of why. Because if I were to rank bags, this bag probably wouldn't rank very high on my personal list. But it's still not, doesn't mean it's a bad bag. So I don't know where I would put this in the list of rankings, because it should be in the top half of bag rankings for sure, probably the top third. But it's not a bag that I would ever pull out to throw, if that makes sense. So it's tough. It's tough when you're trying to compare bags. The Typhoon, this bag here, I've thrown this a ton. Except for about 8 months, this was the only bag I threw for a while. I absolutely love this bag. It was a phenomenal bag. But with all these new hybrid carpets coming out, I find myself shifting away from this surefire material and going more to a hybrid carpet, because you could just do so much more with it. And the negatives that you have here, you don't really get with this hybrid carpets, but yet it does everything this bag does. If that makes sense. So anyway, if you love the old Typhoon, I think you're gonna like the new one. If you like that surefire type material, I recommend checking this out. I think you're gonna like it. Again, it's a great bag, solid bag, a bag I definitely recommend. Which leads me to availability on this. Reynolds has a website, reynoldsbags.com. Reynolds does a great job keeping bags in stock, and the prices are pretty reasonable. They're $74.99, $75 for a set. And it's $11.20 for shipping, I think it is. Now, Reynolds does, if you order more than one set, I know I've gotten 2 sets before from them, shipping say $11.20. I don't know how many sets you can order before shipping goes up, or if it's just flat rate for no matter what you order. So if you're looking at getting a set and a buddy of yours getting a set, put them in the same order. You can split the shipping, save you a little more money. But if you're getting one set, it's $75 plus $11.20, so it's like $86 or $74. That's $74, so it's like $85.20 or something for a set shipped to you. These are ACL stamp. These are ACL Pro stamp for 2024. So ACL Pro stamp bag for $85 and change shipped to you is a great price. It's on the lower end of bag prices. So if you throw these Typhoons, especially these new 2024 editions, I'd love to hear your opinion of whether you like these more or less than the older style bags. Or even if you notice a difference, if you think they play the same, I also want to hear that. So let me know what your thoughts on these new 2024 bags. I thank you guys so much for the support, and I thank you for watching.